Hello everyone, welcome back to Devs. In this video, I will share with you the roadmap you need to become a successful web developer in 2021, completely starting from scratch. In today's world, most offline businesses have realized the need to move their businesses online. And what better way to do that than websites and mobile applications? So, web development is a really growing field even today. I assume most of us are beginners here, so without further ado, let's jump right into the video where I give you the roadmap to becoming a successful web developer in 2021 as a beginner. So, web development consists of two portions, the front end and the back end, and I will recommend starting with the front end. Everyone interested in web development has surely heard about HTML and CSS. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. It is a standard markup language for describing the structure of web pages. CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets and describes how elements are to be displayed on web pages. It is essentially in charge of controlling the design and layout. Now, before moving on to the next step, I will ask you, and I cannot stress this enough, to do as many projects as you can using the knowledge you have acquired up until now. Try taking inspirations from different landing pages you'll see on different websites. Try to clone them or try to make designs of your own and solidify your CSS concepts. How I went about this is I looked at particular landing pages of a website and I tried to clone it completely by just using my HTML and CSS skills. I will agree it sometimes went horribly wrong, but I became much better at my CSS game after that, and I hope you will too. Now, after you're done with HTML and CSS, as we might have already guessed, we move on to JavaScript. JavaScript is the most well-known scripting language for web pages. Imagine a car. If HTML is the frame and CSS is the design, then JavaScript forms the engine which drives the car. When on JavaScript, I'd recommend staying on the basics and core fundamentals for the time being. There are advanced concepts of JS like promises and callbacks, which you don't want to delve into right now, or else you'll lose motivation very quickly. Again, at this point, I'll request you to make projects. See, the inevitable truth about learning web and app development is you have to do a lot of projects. Unless you figure out how to go beyond your comfort zone and put in the effort of doing things yourself and searching up stuff when you're stuck, you will not really be successful in your journey of becoming a great developer. Now, at this point, people will ask you to move on to a front-end framework, but I'll say this is the perfect time to learn Git and GitHub. Git is basically a version control system that helps you handle various projects with speed and efficiency. Ever done this? Yeah, Git helps you avoid that. GitHub helps you host your code base on their platform and show your work to the rest of the world. As you are done with Git, now is the time to learn a front-end framework. I do not have a problem with what you prefer, be it Vue, Angular or React. But if you ask for my preference, I'll recommend learning React. I have been a React developer since the beginning of my front-end framework journey, and I can vouch for the fact that the React community is strong and large. Any problem you run into has probably already been faced by someone and posted on the internet. After learning a front-end framework, you should go for a good UI system, and I recommend Material UI. It is developed by Google and helps developers to build UI components fast, which looks really nice, really cool, and learn Material UI, definitely worth it. Next up, you should go for Nexjs. It enables functionality such as server-side rendering and generating static websites for React-based web applications. Blown back by these jargons? Well, don't be. When you will learn it, it will be absolutely worth it. As you are done with Next.js, you can slowly pave your way towards backend web development. Now in backend web development, before going into JavaScript frameworks, I'll request you to go through basic Linux commands. In real world builds, you will rarely come across projects where Windows machines are used, Windows systems are used. Most of the work will be done in Linux environments. Hence, it will be definitely useful and definitely worth it to learn the basic Linux commands. As you become familiar with the Linux commands, now is the time to move on to Node.js. What is Node.js? It is essentially a JavaScript runtime that allows developers to create server environments. With the addition of Express, which is a Node.js web app framework, great builds can be made using these alone. If you didn't know, the E in MERN stack stands for Express.js. It is a great time now to go into databases and learn about databases which store data, and I will recommend NoSQL databases, essentially MongoDB. For us complete beginners, SQL databases store data in table form and they are also known as relational databases. And NoSQL databases store data in JSON form and are also known as non-relational databases. Project time. As you are done with databases, you can safely assume that a lot of web applications you see beginner developers building can be made by you from scratch at this point. So this is the time you will have to make as many projects as you can. Note-taking applications, chat applications, weather forecast applications, coding, all these apps will help you understand the core concepts of web development, and this will also be the defining moment when you really start understanding how REST APIs work and how to use them in your projects. Now, somewhere during this project building spree, you should go about learning TypeScript. After working with JavaScript for a long time now, you will start to understand the unlikable sides of JavaScript, and TypeScript will try to overcome those. Well, I will agree it is a bit difficult to learn TypeScript, and I had faced a lot of bad trips when I first went to learn it because it has a really strict syntax. But hey, it was really worth it spending the hours on this scripting language. A huge project is very difficult to maintain if written in JavaScript, and that is exactly when TypeScript comes really handy. After TypeScript, you should consider learning a caching store, most preferably Redis. Caching is a really important concept to learn as a developer because databases become expensive when stored data starts to grow rapidly, and you would want to make sure that there is a fast caching system available. It is a really important, helpful, and quite surely a very interesting concept. The final entry of this roadmap is Docker. When you work with your team or even on production builds, you will probably come across containerization, and you should know how Docker and containerization work and what do they really mean. Now this part of the roadmap does not fall under front-end or back-end development, but it is a good skill to keep up your sleeves. Once you start working on the production side, you should start learning about cloud engineering, AWS and EC2 instances and stuff like that. This does not form a part of web development as such, but if you start learning about cloud functions and all, it opens doors to a wide variety of new opportunities to explore. So it will definitely be worth it if you take out time to check it out. Now, How do I learn all this stuff? Do I go for courses? Should I go for paid ones or free ones? The answer is you have to choose. It is possible to learn each and every step of this roadmap on YouTube and other resources absolutely for free, but you will have to force yourself through several distractions. In paid courses, the distraction will not be there, and courses will always be organized. So, your learning path boils down to what you choose. Even I will try to bring engaging web dev projects and courses on this YouTube channel. Alright, guys, so that was it for this roadmap, and I guess it is enough learning to do for the upcoming 1 to 2 years. I hope you gained some valuable knowledge from it. If you did, do not forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for similar content. So that is it for today, guys. Hope you all embark on your great journeys as developers. Stay classy, guys, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye, guys.